Chosen one. Pause for a moment, don't scroll away. Heaven has interrupted your timeline on purpose. This is not an accident, not an algorithm. No, this is divine orchestration. Something eternal is reaching for you right now because you are not ordinary. You were never designed to blend in or to fade into the crowd. You carry a sacred mark, a signature of heaven itself that sets you apart. You have felt it all along, haven't you? The quiet restlessness. The sense that there must be more to life than this endless cycle of striving and surviving. That inner tension is not confusion, it is awakening. Your spirit has begun to stir because heaven is calling you higher. Every heartbreak, every delay, every betrayal, it was all preparation for this moment. You thought you were being punished, but you were being positioned. The silence you mistook for God's absence was actually His workshop. In that hidden place, He was shaping your heart, strengthening your faith, and refining your fire. The pain you endured wasn't random, it was the furnace where purpose was forged. Chosen one, this is the moment you realize that you were never overlooked. Heaven was simply waiting for the right time to reveal you. You have been hidden for protection, not rejection. The light within you carries the power to expose darkness, and darkness recognized you long before you recognized yourself. That's why the attacks came so early, why the battles felt so unfair. The enemy saw your potential and tried to silence you before you could rise. But here you are, still standing, still breathing, still believing. That alone is proof that purpose has been guarding your life. You have walked through storms that were meant to drown you, yet somehow you emerged stronger. You have carried pain that should have broken you, yet somehow you shine brighter. That resilience isn't your own. It's divine strength woven into your very being. Now heaven declares it's time. No more shrinking to fit small spaces. No more pretending you're average. You were called to disrupt patterns, to heal wounds, to speak truth that shakes chains off souls. The world is waiting for the sound of your obedience. And in case you wonder whether you are ready, listen, God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. Everything you need is already within you. The same Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead lives in you. The same power that parted seas and moved mountains is already stirring in your veins. The apostle reminds us in his letter to the Romans, chapter 8, verse 31, "If God is for us, who can be against us?" Let those words become your anchor. You are not fighting alone. Heaven stands behind you. The forces that tried to stop you are trembling because they see what you are becoming. Every obstacle will bow when you step into your authority. Every wall will fall when you walk in obedience. Every chain will break when you open your mouth in faith, when you speak with faith. Mountains recognize your voice. Creation itself responds to the sound of obedience. The unseen realm moves when you declare truth. Heaven's armies stand ready to act when your spirit aligns with divine will. You are not powerless, you are heaven's chosen instrument of victory and light. You must believe that every battle you faced was shaping your spiritual armor. Your scars are proof of survival, not defeat. They are your credentials in the kingdom. The same power that sustained you will now launch you. Stand tall, chosen one. The world is waiting for the sound of your awakening. Chosen one, you are standing at a threshold. The next chapter of your life depends on one decision, whether you will step forward or shrink back. You already know what heaven is asking. You've heard the whispers. You've felt the pull. This message is not new information, it's confirmation. Don't run this time. Don't dismiss the stirring in your chest. Heaven has interrupted your scroll because it's your moment of divine activation. Everything that has been dormant in you is about to awaken. This isn't about religion, it's about relationship. This isn't about fame, it's about faithfulness. You are chosen, you are called, and now you are being commissioned. If your spirit resonates with these words, don't let this moment pass you by. Act in faith. Type 777 in the comments as a prophetic declaration that you received this message and align your steps with heaven's timing. Then, like, share, and subscribe because another chosen one needs this reminder just as much as you did. Heaven hasn't forgotten you. It has simply been waiting for you to realize what you've carried all along. Your time is now. Your light is rising. And the world will never be the same once you say yes. Chosen one, you were never ordinary. Long before the world gave you a name, heaven gave you an identity. You were spoken into existence with intention, marked by divine fingerprints, and sent into this realm as a carrier of light. That's why you've always felt different. You've sensed it in crowded rooms, in silent nights, in moments where others could fit in easily, but you never could. You've tried to blend in, to quiet your fire, to explain away your difference, but it never worked, because heaven doesn't make mistakes. The truth is, you were set apart before birth. Every breath you take carries divine design. Even the way your heart feels deeply and your mind questions endlessly is not weakness, it's evidence of your spiritual depth. The world has often mislabeled you as too much, but in the kingdom, that intensity is sacred. You were meant to feel the weight of heaven's whispers. You were meant to perceive what others overlook. Think back to every moment you were misunderstood. Every time someone said, "You've changed," or "You're too serious," or "Why can't you just relax?" Those weren't insults, they were confirmations. They couldn't understand because they weren't meant to. The frequency of your spirit is tuned to a higher wavelength, and not everyone is built to receive it. Chosen one. You must stop apologizing for your calling. Stop minimizing your light to protect others from discomfort. When you lower your flame to make others feel safe, you betray the very reason you were sent. You weren't created to blend, you were created to burn. You are the lamp on the hill, not the candle under a basket. This world has a habit of rejecting what it doesn't understand. But remember, this rejection is often God's redirection. The people who left weren't meant to walk into your next chapter. The closed doors were heaven's way of keeping you from smaller rooms. You are not behind. You are being divinely positioned. As the apostle reminds us in his first letter to the Peter chapter 2, verse 9. But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, called into his wonderful light. Read that again slowly. Chosen one. You are not common. You are royal. You are holy. You are his. Heaven didn't pick you because you were perfect. Heaven picked you because you were willing. You have been set apart not for superiority, but for service, to carry glory into places where hope has died. There's something sacred about realizing your difference is divine. The loneliness you felt, it's the echo of your separation. Every chosen one walks through a wilderness season where isolation feels unbearable. But that silence is the womb of revelation. God speaks clearest in solitude. The very place that felt like exile was your training ground for leadership. You were never meant to follow the crowd. You were meant to hear the shepherd's voice even when the crowd went the other way. That's why your path has been strange, crooked at times, steep at others, but every twist was necessary to carve your discernment. What felt like delay was actually refinement. Look at your life. Notice the patterns, the way you attract people in pain, the way strangers open their hearts to you without knowing why, the way your presence calms chaos. That's not coincidence, it's calling. You were designed to be a carrier of peace in a restless world. That's why the warfare against your mind has been relentless. The enemy fears a chosen one who knows their worth. But you are awakening now. The fog is lifting. The confusion is clearing. You are remembering the truth heaven spoke over you before time began. You are chosen, consecrated, commissioned. You are not simply existing, you are representing heaven on earth. Every step you take in alignment releases light. Every act of obedience sends ripples through eternity. The world needs what you carry. Don't underestimate the power of your existence. Even when you speak softly, your words shake dimensions. Even when you move quietly, your presence shifts atmospheres. Even when you think no one sees you, heaven watches proudly, saying, "That one is mine." So walk with confidence. Chosen one, let your difference shine. Let your uniqueness become your worship. Every scar you carry tells a story of survival. Every fear you faced became a doorway to faith. You were never just meant to survive, you were meant to transform. And though the journey feels heavy, remember this: divine assignments always come with divine assistance. Heaven equips those it chooses. When you feel weak, grace will rise. When you feel lost, purpose will whisper. When you feel unseen, angels will surround you. You were never ordinary because ordinary cannot carry extraordinary purpose. You were hand-picked, heaven-marked, and earth-sent. Stand in that truth. You are not like the rest. And that is the most beautiful evidence that God is still writing your story. Chosen one. The silent nights of testing were never a punishment, they were the preparation that no one saw. You've walked through valleys so dark that you questioned whether light would ever return. You've cried prayers that felt unanswered, screamed into pillows that never echoed back. But those moments, the ones you tried to erase from memory, were the exact places where heaven was shaping your foundation. Every tear was recorded, every sigh was noticed. Every battle you fought in silence was heard in heaven's courts. While the world saw nothing, God saw everything. He was refining you, burning away what couldn't go with you into your next season. The fire didn't come to destroy, it came to define. You remember the loneliness, don't you? Those nights when it felt like heaven had gone quiet, when every door you knocked on stayed shut. You thought it was rejection, but it was divine redirection. In the silence, God was teaching you how to recognize His whisper. You learned to discern His presence without proof, to trust His plan without seeing the path. Chosen one. Testing is the language of heaven. It's how destiny is proven. Diamonds are not formed in comfort, they are created under pressure. And just like those precious stones, your trials have birthed brilliance inside you that nothing can dim. Think back to the people who walked away when you needed them most. It hurt, but it purified. The betrayal you endured exposed what was fake so you could cling to what was real. Every wound became an entry point for wisdom. Every scar now speaks the language of endurance. You might not realize it yet, but those silent nights were sacred. That was when heaven was closest. When you couldn't feel God, He was standing guard over you. When you felt abandoned, He was defending your destiny. The silence was never absence, it was strategy. As the writings in the book of James, chapter 1, verses 2-4 declare, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." There it is, proof that your pain had purpose. You weren't being punished, you were being perfected. You were being trained to carry greater authority, to walk in deeper wisdom, to speak with heavenly weight. That's why it couldn't be easy. That's why shortcuts were denied. Heaven refuses to send the unprepared into great assignments. You see, chosen one, there's a reason you survived what broke others. You've been refined through fire that few would dare to endure. It's not because you're stronger, it's because you're chosen. God placed something inside you that can't be destroyed by pain. That's why even in your weakness, you still rise. Even when your hope flickers, it never fully dies. You are sustained by divine grace that never runs out. And now, the testing season is nearing its end. You can feel it, the shift in the atmosphere, the stirring of your spirit. The same God who allowed the trial is now releasing the transformation. What once wounded you will soon become your testimony. What once broke you will become your authority. You will comfort others with the same comfort heaven used to restore you. You've earned your scars. You've earned your strength. You've walked through shadows and still carry light. And that's what sets you apart. You are living proof that darkness cannot overcome divine design. So now, chosen one, breathe. You made it through the nights that were meant to destroy you. You passed the test that was meant to break you. The lessons you learned in silence will soon echo loudly in purpose. You are stepping out of survival and into significance. Pause for a moment and let gratitude wash over you. You didn't come this far by luck, you came this far by grace. Every time you thought you couldn't go on, heaven whispered, "One more step." And you took it. That's why you're still here. That's why you're ready for what's next. Now, before you move forward, take a sacred pause and affirm your breakthrough. Type in the comments, "I'm still here," because those 3 words carry power. They are a declaration of victory. They say, "I endured the storm, but I wasn't consumed." They remind the darkness that it failed. They remind heaven that you're ready for your next assignment. When you type those words, you're not just commenting, you're testifying. You're aligning your tongue with truth and you're prophesying over your own life. Chosen one, your testing was never wasted. Your silence was never ignored. Your pain was never pointless. Every night of weeping prepared the dawn that is now breaking. You are proof that what was meant to crush you only crowned you. The weight has not been wasted. Heaven has watched, and now heaven will reward. Chosen one, the enemy saw you first, before you ever recognized your own light. Darkness had already identified you as a threat. Long before you understood your calling, the adversary saw your potential. That's why you were attacked so early, even as a child, because your destiny was visible in the spirit before it ever manifested in the natural. You have to understand this: the intensity of your battles has never been about who you are right now, but about who you are becoming. Every attempt to break you was a reaction to your anointing. The opposition was never random, it was targeted. Hell does not waste resources on the insignificant. There's a reason your pain has felt personal, it is. The enemy has studied your patterns, observed your compassion, and tried to weaponize your emotions against you. He saw the way you loved deeply, so he sent betrayal. He saw your loyalty, so he surrounded you with those who would misuse it. He saw your capacity for hope, so he unleashed disappointment after disappointment, hoping to make you numb, and yet you are still standing. You may have limped through some seasons, you may have cried through some nights, but you never gave up. You never surrendered your soul to the darkness that surrounded you. That is proof of the divine seal upon your life. Even your survival is a form of worship. Chosen one, the enemy's recognition of your worth was a confirmation of heaven's mark upon you. Every struggle you faced was evidence that you carry something valuable. Thieves don't break into empty houses. You've been targeted precisely because you're carrying treasure wisdom, strength, discernment, grace. And though you may have felt fragile at times, you are unbreakable by design. Consider this truth: you were forged in warfare. Every attack was secretly training you in spiritual awareness. Every loss taught you the language of resilience. Every heartbreak sharpened your discernment. You've learned how to pray deeper, love stronger, and see clearer. The enemy's intention was destruction, but heaven turned it into development. There were times you wondered, why me? Why does it feel like I attract pain? But if you look closely, you'll see the pattern. Each battle carried a lesson that shaped your authority. You can now recognize manipulation faster. You can sense danger before it arrives. You can feel deception even when it's disguised as friendship. Those aren't coincidences. That's spiritual maturity earned through warfare. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 17. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is from me, declares the Lord. That is your divine insurance, the chosen one. Weapons may form, but they cannot finish. Words may be spoken against you, but they cannot stick. What was meant to destroy you will be repurposed to develop you. Even the curses thrown your way will turn into catalysts for blessing. That is how heaven operates: nothing wasted, nothing lost. You have to stop seeing your past battles as signs of weakness. They are trophies of survival. You've been in the trenches, but you came out carrying revelation. You know what it means to fight unseen wars and still walk in love. That is the mark of divine strength, the ability to remain kind in a cruel world, to stay soft when life tries to harden you. Chosen one. The enemy knew that if you ever discovered who you truly are, his influence over you would end. That's why he attacked your identity so fiercely. He tried to convince you that you were worthless, unlovable, forgotten. But he failed because your identity was written in heaven before time began. You are sealed in glory. Now, as your awareness rises, you will start to see warfare differently. You'll understand that every attack is a distorted confirmation. The more the darkness rages, the closer you are to break through. The pressure you feel is not punishment, it's prophecy being fulfilled. When the enemy saw you first, he marked you as dangerous. But what he failed to understand is that every attempt to break you only activated you. Every time he pushed, heaven pulled you deeper into purpose. Every time he tried to silence you, your spirit learned a new way to speak. And now you stand on the other side of pain, carrying wisdom that can't be taught in peace. You know the sound of spiritual warfare. You recognize the scent of deception. You are not naive anymore. You are awake, equipped, and unstoppable. The enemy's worst fear is not your past, it's your awakening. Because once a chosen one becomes aware, the battlefield shifts. You stop reacting and start commanding. You stop fearing and start declaring. You realize that victory was never something you had to chase. It was something you carried all along. So breathe, chosen one. You are not cursed. You are chosen. The attacks that came against you were never proof of weakness, they were proof of worth. You were seen first by darkness, yes, but you were claimed first by light. And no shadow can outshine what heaven has already ignited within you. Chosen one. The weight of being chosen is not light. It sits on your shoulders like a cloak woven from both fire and gold, beautiful, but heavy. You feel it when you wake up tired even after sleeping. You feel it in conversations that drain your spirit because your heart sees deeper than words. You feel it in the quiet ache of carrying what others cannot understand. This weight is the mark of divine trust. Heaven does not hand sacred assignments to careless hands. You've been entrusted with hearts, with hope, with healing. That's why your life has never been simple. You've been chosen to stand in places where others gave up, to believe when others doubted, to hold on when others walked away. You have become like a tree rooted by rivers unseen. Storms have beaten against your branches, yet your roots drink from living water. You've stood through seasons of drought, of loss, of silence. Still, you did not wither. That, beloved, is what being chosen feels like, quiet endurance that grows fruit even in famine. Sometimes you wish you could lay it all down, don't you? You've whispered to God, "Why me?" But the truth is, your strength was known before your struggle. Heaven chose you not because you were flawless, but because you were faithful. When others broke under pressure, you bent but didn't snap. When others turned bitter, you kept loving. That's what qualifies you. The Apostle Paul wrote in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 17, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." That's the secret of the weight you carry. It's not there to crush you, but to crown you. Glory has gravity. Purpose has pressure. Every burden you lift in faith is shaping a strength in you that will outlast the pain. You are being built for endurance, refined for eternal impact. Think of yourself as a vessel in the potter's hands. The spinning of the wheel may make you dizzy. The shaping may feel painful, but the potter never wastes clay. Every press of his fingers gives purpose to your form. The weight you feel is the imprint of his care. Chosen one. Don't despise the heaviness, it's proof that you are carrying something holy. Diamonds are made under pressure. Stars shine brightest in darkness, and olive oil only flows when the fruit is crushed. You have been through crushing. Yes, but the oil of purpose is now beginning to pour. That's why people are drawn to you. They sense the fragrance of something sacred that words cannot explain. There will be days when the weight feels unbearable. When that happens, remember you were never meant to carry it alone. Heaven walks beside you. Some angels strengthen your weary hands. Grace whispers through your exhaustion, reminding you that the mission is greater than the pain. And perhaps, chosen one, part of your calling is to remind others that they too can carry light in heavy seasons. Your story, your raw, unfiltered story, is someone else's survival manual. Every struggle you share becomes a seed of hope planted in another soul. That's the beauty of divine weight. It multiplies strength through vulnerability. So when you share your journey, you're not boasting, you're building bridges. When you speak your truth, you become a lighthouse for those still lost in the fog. Every word you release becomes a spark in someone else's darkness. That's how heaven works. It turns your heaviness into healing for the world. If these words have reached your heart, if you felt the tremor of recognition in your spirit, then know this: it's not just you. Across the world, other chosen ones are awakening, feeling the same call, carrying the same unseen burden. Together, you are forming a constellation of light, each star shining alone, yet part of a greater design. And so, as one voice among many, I ask you gently, help the light spread, like the lamp placed on a stand to brighten a whole house. Your small act can carry this message further. When you like, when you share, when you subscribe, you are not feeding an algorithm, you are fueling a movement of awakening souls. And if this message has truly stirred something deep within you, consider supporting what you believe in. Your donations, no matter how small, are not transactions, but seeds. Each one helps the message reach further, touching hearts that have forgotten their worth. You are not giving to a voice. You are giving through it. Together, we water the garden of faith so that others may bloom. Chosen one, the weight you feel is sacred. Carry it with courage, but never alone. Let every act of kindness, every shared truth, every whispered prayer become your way of saying to heaven, I'm still willing. For that willingness is what sets you apart. It's what keeps light alive in a weary world. Chosen one, the battle in the shadows has been fierce. You may not see it with your eyes, but your spirit has felt every vibration of it, the unseen war between light and darkness. Fought not with swords, but with choices, with whispers, with faith. It's the kind of battle that wages while you're smiling in public yet trembling in private. You felt the invisible pressure, the heaviness that makes no sense, the sudden waves of fear or exhaustion that come out of nowhere. That is not coincidence, that is spiritual warfare. The truth is, your life has always been more than flesh and blood. You are spirit wrapped in skin, purpose dressed as a person. When you said yes to your calling, you became a target in the unseen realm. But heaven did not leave you defenseless. You've been equipped with discernment sharper than any weapon and a heart too strong to surrender. Some battles you fought in silence. No one saw the tears, the wrestling, the weariness. Yet heaven recorded every moment. You kept going when giving up seemed easier. You held your peace when others would have exploded. You forgave when vengeance called your name. That is how warriors fight quietly, with grace that confuses hell. You've been walking through invisible minefields, dodging emotional explosions, deflecting spiritual attacks that were meant to break you. But look at you, you are still here, still breathing, still believing. That's not weakness, that's evidence of divine covering. Angels have been assigned to you, working behind the curtain of your everyday life. The nights when sleep escaped you, when anxiety whispered lies, when you felt a strange resistance to even pray, those were battlefields. You thought you were failing spiritually, but you were actually enduring a war most people never even recognize. The enemy's strategy has always been subtle to exhaust you, distract you, and make you doubt your worth. The ancient words revealed in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12 declare, For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Let that truth settle in your heart. The real battle is spiritual. The anger, the misunderstanding, the chaos around you. It's not about the people, it's about the purpose. The enemy will use anything and anyone to derail a chosen one from divine alignment. But once you see the pattern, you can stop reacting and start reigning. You must learn to fight differently now. Not with fear, but with focus. Not with shouting, but with stillness. Your peace is a weapon, your worship is warfare. Every time you choose forgiveness over resentment, you disarm the enemy. Every time you choose prayer over panic, you reclaim your ground. It may not look like victory right away, but every quiet act of obedience sends shockwaves through the spiritual realm. Light does not need to argue with darkness. It simply shines, and the darkness flees. You are that light, and every time you refuse to quit, heaven celebrates. You have been through much, but you are not broken. You are battle-tested. You have scars, yes, but they tell stories of survival. You carry a spiritual authority that cannot be faked, forged through seasons of pressure that would have crushed anyone else. You know now how to stand firm when storms rise. You have learned that silence can roar louder than anger, and that faith whispered in the dark can shatter chains. Chosen one, The shadows that once intimidated you now serve as proof that your light is growing stronger. Do not be afraid of spiritual warfare. It's confirmation that your presence threatens the plans of hell. When you walk into rooms, darkness recognizes you and trembles. Your peace disarms confusion. Your prayers shift atmospheres. You are not the victim of warfare, you are the weapon of heaven. And now, as you read these words, something inside you is awakening. The weight you felt is beginning to lift because revelation is replacing fear. You are remembering your authority. You are remembering that no attack can succeed against someone who walks in divine alignment. So take a breath. Chosen one, the battle is not yours alone. You are surrounded by heaven's armies. Every time you worship, they move. Every time you pray, they march. Every time you stand, they fight. Now, if your spirit feels this truth stirring within, declare your awareness to heaven. Type in the comments 888, the number of new beginnings, the sign of resurrection and spiritual renewal. When you type it, you are not just writing digits, you are making a declaration that the battle may rage. But your victory has already been written. Because the enemy saw your potential, he came for your peace. But he underestimated your perseverance. You have learned to fight on your knees, to praise in pain, to stand in storms. You are not who you were when this began. You are stronger, wiser, and unshakably chosen. Chosen one. When heaven speaks through delay, it is never silence without reason. You have waited so long that even your hope has grown weary. You've watched others move forward while you remained still, standing in the middle of unanswered prayers and postponed dreams. You've cried out, asking, Lord, why not me? Why not now? But what you called delay, heaven called development. You see, there are seasons when God hides answers, not to punish you, but to purify your motives. When blessings come too quickly, hearts forget who gave them. Delay is the classroom where character is tested, where faith is matured, where pride is broken and replaced by trust. You were never denied, only disciplined into readiness. The waiting room of heaven is not wasted space, it's sacred ground. It is there that endurance learns how to breathe. It's there that the impatient heart learns stillness. It's there that you learn the difference between good timing and divine timing. The former feels convenient, the latter changes everything. Chosen one, you've been standing between promise and fulfillment for a long time. You've looked around and seen doors open for others while yours remained closed. It made you question your worth, your anointing, your prayers. But heaven was never ignoring you. It was protecting the promise from premature exposure. Just as a seed cannot survive if uprooted too soon, your purpose could not thrive until the soil of your spirit was strong enough to sustain it. The delay was never a no, it was a not yet. And though that not yet broke your heart, it built your faith. There were nights when you wanted to give up, but something in you, something holy, kept whispering, wait a little longer. That whisper was the voice of the Spirit guarding your destiny from collapse. You thought you were waiting for God to move, but God was waiting for you to grow. Remember the prophet Habakkuk, who also cried out in frustration, wondering when the vision would come to pass. And yet, in the midst of his questioning, the voice of heaven answered. As recorded in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 4, the righteous one will live by his faith. That is the essence of delay. It is not about the passage of time, but the posture of faith. Heaven is never late. It does not measure moments in minutes, but in maturity. The promise doesn't manifest when you want it to. It manifests when you are ready to carry it without breaking under its weight. Look back now and see what the delay has done for you. You've become wiser. You've learned to discern motives. You've discovered strength you didn't know you had. You've learned to walk by faith and not by sight. You've been purified of people-pleasing, stripped of false expectations, and anchored in divine patience. If the blessing had arrived earlier, you might have mishandled it. You might have depended on your own wisdom instead of God's guidance. You might have mistaken opportunity for calling. But now you see more clearly. Now your foundation is deep enough to support the structure of what's coming. The waiting has carved compassion into your spirit. It's made you gentle where pride once lived, tender where judgment once ruled. You've learned to see delay not as denial, but as divine pacing, a rhythm orchestrated by heaven to align every detail perfectly. Chosen one, heaven's timeline often confuses the human heart. You wanted acceleration, but God wanted alignment. You prayed for open doors, but He was strengthening your legs to walk through them. You cried for clarity, but He was teaching you to trust even when you couldn't see. What looked like pause was actually progress. There's beauty in how heaven works. It stretches you just enough to break comfort but not faith. It hides blessings behind patience so that when they arrive, you no longer crave them more than the giver. Delay becomes the sacred space where idols die and intimacy grows. So do not despise this season. The pause is not permanent. The same hand that closed the door will open it again, and when it does, you will understand why it had to take this long. You'll look back and say, "Now I see it." Every delay was divine protection. Every waiting season was sacred preparation. Even now, heaven is aligning what belongs to you. People, opportunities, provision, everything is moving into place. It may still look quiet on the surface, but in the unseen, purpose is gathering momentum. When it breaks through, it will not trickle, it will flood. Chosen one, learn to love the slowness of God. It is not sluggishness, it is strategy. The waiting season is heaven's whisper saying, "Trust me with the timing, for what comes too fast often fades too soon. But what arrives through divine delay endures." So stand still in faith, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Heaven is not late, it is deliberate. And when the clock of eternity strikes your appointed moment, everything that once felt delayed will suddenly make sense. Chosen one, before every real breakthrough comes the counterfeit season. It's the most deceptive stretch of the journey when imitation blessings appear, when false peace disguises itself as purpose, when good opportunities arrive to distract you from divine ones. The enemy knows he cannot destroy what heaven has ordained, so he attempts to dilute it, to make you settle for almost. This is the season where discernment becomes your greatest weapon. Not everything that glitters is gold, and not everyone who smiles is sent by God. You will encounter things that look like answers to prayer but carry an unseen price tag. The counterfeit comes to test whether your heart values comfort or calling. It offers shortcuts to what only obedience can sustain. You've seen it before: relationships that felt right but drained your spirit, opportunities that promised growth but compromised your peace, open doors that led to locked cages. Each one was a mirror reflecting how easily the human heart can confuse convenience for confirmation. But you're not who you used to be. The lessons of your wilderness have sharpened your vision. You now know that the devil rarely shows up wearing horns. He shows up offering relief. You must understand the counterfeit season always comes dressed as fulfillment. It mimics the rhythm of God's timing. It echoes the language of blessing. But it lacks the weight of divine peace. It satisfies the flesh while starving the spirit. As recorded in the book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 12. There is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death. Those ancient words echo like a warning bell through every generation. What seems right is the counterfeit. It's the almost, the imitation, the near enough path that looks safe but silently leads away from purpose. The counterfeit season does not come to make you sin outright. It comes to make you settle. Chosen one, you are in a world that glorifies speed. Everyone wants instant results, instant success, instant validation. But heaven's pace is deliberate. The enemy knows your impatience and uses it against you. He whispers, "You've waited long enough," when in truth, waiting is your shield. If he can't make you fall, he'll try to make you rush. And here is the danger: rushing creates roots in the wrong soil. When you plant in haste, you grow in heartbreak. But those who wait, who test every voice against the word, who weigh every opportunity against peace, they cannot be deceived. That's the maturity heaven has been building in you. The counterfeit can mimic everything but peace. You'll know it's false when you have to shrink your soul to fit it. You'll know it's not from God when your spirit feels uneasy though your mind is convinced. God's blessings don't come with confusion. They come with clarity. Even if they stretch you, they never suffocate you. This season is not about fighting demons outside. It's about mastering discernment within. You will feel the tension between what's easy and what's eternal. You will stand at crossroads where both roads look right. But the chosen ones are those who pause, who pray, who listen for the still, small voice saying, "This is the way. Walk in it." You must learn to examine fruit, not words. The counterfeit always flatters, the authentic always transforms. The counterfeit feeds ego, the authentic feeds purpose. The counterfeit drains peace, the authentic multiplies it. Heaven is training your spirit to recognize these differences instantly. Think of gold refined by fire. Impurities can mimic shine until the heat reveals the truth. You are that gold, and your discernment is being tested in flame. Every false thing that falls away from you is proof of progress, not loss. Every door that closes was a counterfeit disguised as opportunity. Every person who left was a distraction disguised as destiny. Chosen one, remember this: not every battle is meant to be fought, and not every blessing is meant to be claimed. Some doors are open traps. Some connections are spiritual decoys. But the more you anchor yourself in the Word, the more clearly you will hear the rhythm of heaven's truth. The Spirit within you will whisper, "Stay or go." And though logic may argue, peace will confirm. The counterfeit season can feel lonely because discernment isolates you. You will outgrow conversations, friendships, even environments that once felt comfortable. That's not pride, it's protection. Heaven removes distractions to keep your focus pure. You are being refined to recognize authenticity in every form: truth in people, purity in intentions, holiness in opportunity. Once your eyes adjust to the light of discernment, counterfeits will no longer appeal to you. What once looked beautiful will now seem shallow. What once tempted you will now feel empty. This season is not meant to break you. It's meant to bless you with clarity. Heaven is teaching you to wait for what carries His fingerprint, to reject anything that only carries His vocabulary. You will know the real when you feel peace that passes understanding, joy that doesn't depend on outcome, strength that doesn't fade. Chosen one, you are being refined, not rejected. What you've mistaken for abandonment has only been the process of purification. The fire you've walked through wasn't meant to destroy, it was designed to reveal what's indestructible within you. You've cried out, asking why things had to hurt so deeply, why the road has been so long, why every blessing seemed to come wrapped in battle. But heaven answers gently, Because you are gold, and gold is revealed by fire. Rejection hurts because it strikes at the core of belonging. You've watched people leave when you needed them most. You've seen doors close without explanation. You've felt the sting of being overlooked. But what if every departure was actually divine direction? What if every no was protection? Rejection is rarely personal, it's providential. When you are chosen, pruning is part of the promise. God removes what cannot remain so that what is pure can rise. You may have thought you were losing people, positions, or opportunities, but in truth, you were losing limitations. Heaven has been carving away what could not carry you to the next level. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 9. I will bring the third part through the fire, refine them as silver and gold. They shall call my name, I will answer. Chosen one. Refinement feels lonely because the fire separates. Not everyone can walk with you through this part of the process. Some people were attached to your old version and couldn't survive your transformation. You've had to learn that solitude is not isolation, it's sanctification. Heaven hides you so that healing can happen without interference. You see, rejection exposes dependence. It teaches you to rely on God instead of applause, on grace instead of validation. You've been trained to find comfort not in company, but in the quiet presence of the one who never leaves. That's the hidden blessing of refinement. It strips away everything false until only truth remains. At times, you've cried, God, I don't recognize myself anymore. And heaven smiled, because that's exactly the point. You are not who you used to be. The fire has altered your spiritual DNA. The insecurities that once controlled you no longer have power. The fears that once defined you now fuel your faith. The weakness that once shamed you has become the testimony that strengthens others. Chosen one. Refinement doesn't just change how you live, it changes how you love. You now love without needing control, forgive without demanding apology, and serve without expecting reward. You've learned that purity of heart is not a goal but a process, one that happens every time you choose grace over resentment, faith over frustration, humility over pride. Every scar on your heart is evidence that the fire touched you but didn't consume you. You came out stronger, wiser, softer. That paradox is the beauty of divine refinement. It doesn't harden you, it polishes you. So when you face rejection again, and you will remember what you've learned. Don't chase what walked away. Don't mourn closed doors. You're not being shut out, you're being set apart. The same God who closed that chapter is already writing the next one with more depth and greater grace. There will come a moment when you'll look back and thank God for the people who left, for the plans that failed, for the timing that felt wrong. Because you'll see clearly then that every seeming setback was a redirection towards something sacred. What you thought was rejection was heaven's way of saying, you deserve better. Even now, you are still in the fire, but the glow on your spirit tells a different story. You are not burning out. You are burning brighter. Every test has stripped away another layer of fear until only faith remains. The more the flame rises, the more your light intensifies. And when you step out of this season, those who doubted you will not recognize you. They will see the strength in your silence, the wisdom in your eyes, and the peace in your steps, and they will know that you have walked with God through the fire and emerged refined. Chosen one. This is your season of becoming. You're not who you were, and you're not yet who you'll be. But heaven is pleased with your progress. Every time you refuse to quit, you're passing another test. Every time you choose patience over panic, you're proving the purity of your purpose. So, as a declaration of what you've survived, type in the comments "still in progress," because those words carry power. They're not an admission of weakness, they're a proclamation of transformation. They remind you and the world that God's hand is still working, that your story is still unfolding, that your fire is not your finish. You are being refined, not rejected, and that makes all the difference. Chosen one, rise. You have lingered in the shadows long enough. The time for silence has ended, and heaven is now calling your name with authority. The season of waiting has served its purpose. The refining fire has completed its work. What was hidden in you is ready to be revealed. You have been prepared for this exact moment, not a second too early, not a heartbeat too late. The world is shifting, and your voice is part of that divine tremor. You've carried truth in your bones, but fear has kept it quiet. You've seen injustice and felt your spirit burn, but you hesitated, worried you weren't qualified. But listen closely, your hesitation does not disqualify you, it humbles you. Heaven does not call the polished, it calls the willing. You are like a trumpet that's been resting on a silent table, waiting for the musician to breathe. And now, the breath of God moves through you again. This is your sound, rising, the sound that heals, that awakens, that disrupts darkness. The world needs your resonance. The voice of God thundered through the book of Isaiah, chapter 61, verse 1. The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, for he has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor and freedom for captives. This is not just a verse, it is your mandate. Heaven has anointed you to speak, to heal, to release. That's why silence began to feel unbearable, because your purpose has outgrown your fear. You are being commissioned now, not with titles or applause, but with truth that pierces through illusions. Rise, chosen one, for your voice is not noise, it is medicine. Your story is not shame, it is scripture written through scars. Your presence is not accidental, it is assignment. Every moment of pain that you endured was shaping the message you now carry. You may think your voice is small, but remember, the whisper of truth has always shaken empires. Every ripple begins with one drop of obedience. When you speak, the sound waves travel farther than you realize. Somewhere, a weary soul will hear it and remember who they are. That's how revival begins, not in cathedrals, but in conversations, not with crowds, but with courage, And so, beloved, if this message touches your heart, let it not end with you. Help it travel like light through cracks in the night. When you share this word, you're not boosting a voice, you're spreading a spark. When you like, you're affirming its truth. When you subscribe, you're saying, I choose to stay in the current of awakening. Each act is a small but sacred offering, like adding oil to a lamp that keeps the flame alive. And if you feel led to go further, to sow into the soil that's feeding your spirit, then give, not out of pressure, but from revelation. Donation is not payment, it's participation. Every seed you plant becomes a pathway for the message to reach another lost light. You are not funding a person, you are fueling purpose. Together, we can turn this whisper into a wave. Think of it like rain falling into a river. One drop may seem small, but when many fall together, the river rises and parched lands begin to bloom. Every like, every share, every gift is a drop that feeds the flow of hope. When heaven moves, it often starts through human hands that choose to give freely. Chosen one, your rising is not selfish, it's necessary. When you step into your voice, you make space for others to do the same. Your courage becomes contagious. Your obedience becomes a mirror in which others see their own reflection of strength. There will be resistance. The moment you rise, winds will blow. But remember, the eagle feels the same wind the sparrow fears. The difference is that the eagle uses it to soar higher. So let every gust become your lift. Let every doubt push you deeper into purpose. This is your moment to stand, to speak, to shine. The world has enough echoes, it needs your original sound. You've been equipped, empowered, and entrusted. Now take your place among those who rise not for recognition, but for redemption. And as you rise, remember you're not alone. Heaven rises with you. Every act of courage echoes in eternity. Every message shared becomes another soul reached. Every seed sown builds bridges between despair and destiny. So lift your voice, chosen one. Let it tremble if it must, but let it speak. You are no longer hidden. You are the light the darkness feared would awaken. You are the trumpet heaven has chosen to sound in this hour. Rise and let the sound of your purpose fill the earth. Chosen one. Everything in your life is coming into prophetic alignment. The twists, the turns, the detours, all of it was never random. Every delay, every heartbreak, every unexpected door was divinely woven into the pattern of your purpose. Heaven has been arranging the details while you were learning to trust the designer. You may not have understood it then, but now the puzzle pieces begin to fit, and what once felt chaotic starts to make sense. When you look back, you can see how even the smallest decisions carried divine fingerprints. The places you almost stayed, the people you almost followed, the choices that frightened you, all of them were part of the orchestration. Heaven has a rhythm, and your life has been moving in time with it, even when you couldn't hear the beat. Prophetic alignment is not about perfection, it's about positioning. God is not asking you to be flawless. He is asking you to be available. When your heart remains open, He can redirect your steps without resistance. Every shift you've endured has been a holy nudge, moving you closer to what was written about you before you ever breathed your first word. Sometimes alignment feels like loss. A friendship ends, a plan collapses, a dream fades. But those collapses are sacred collapses, the breaking of what cannot bear the weight of what's next. You cannot carry yesterday's structures into tomorrow's promise. Heaven shakes what is unstable, kuna, not to punish you, but to protect the purity of your purpose. As written in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. That truth is not poetic, it's prophetic. Every joy, every sorrow, every moment that made you question your worth, it's all being worked together for your good. Alignment doesn't mean ease, it means accuracy. The hand of God is fine-tuning your path so that every event, even the painful ones, pushes you into divine destiny. Chosen one. Prophetic alignment means that your steps are now synchronized with heaven's timing. You'll start to notice it, conversations that confirm what you prayed in secret, doors that open without effort, peace that settles where confusion used to live. That is the sign that heaven's calendar and your obedience have finally met in harmony. There will still be uncertainty, yes, but it will no longer terrify you. You've learned that the unknown is not empty, it's full of divine preparation. The silence of God is not absence, it's orchestration. While you're waiting, heaven is arranging. When you move too soon, you outrun the plan, but when you wait in trust, timing begins to serve you. You will also notice that certain people are drawn to you now, not by coincidence, but by calling. The connections coming into your life are kingdom connections. They will not drain you, but sharpen you. They will not compete with your light, but reflect it. Prophetic alignment brings people, places, and provisions that match your purpose precisely. Sometimes it feels like you've taken the long road, doesn't it? You've looked at others and thought they reached their destination faster. But heaven never compares speed, it measures surrender. What takes others a moment may take you a decade, Because your foundation must be stronger. You are not being delayed, you are being designed for endurance. Think of an arrow before it's released. The archer must pull it backward, stretching it farther away from the target. To the arrow, it feels like regression, but the tension is what gives it power. That's what the past years have been for you. Chosen one. You've been pulled back only to be propelled forward. The greater the tension, the farther the reach. Prophetic alignment also brings peace to places that once brought pain. The memories that used to sting now carry lessons instead of bitterness. You'll find yourself forgiving easily, understanding more deeply, and loving without fear. That's how you know you've aligned with heaven's perspective. You start to see even wounds as wisdom. The things that used to distract you now lose their hold. You've grown immune to noise. You no longer chase approval because alignment has given you clarity. When your spirit is synchronized with heaven, applause no longer defines you, purpose does. Chosen one. You may still have questions, but peace doesn't require answers, it requires alignment. When you rest in divine rhythm, you stop striving, you start flowing. What once felt forced now feels effortless. The same steps that used to exhaust you now energize you, because you're finally walking with the wind instead of against it. You are stepping into a season where everything that was misaligned will begin to click into place. Promises that seemed far off will suddenly approach. Words spoken over your life will begin to unfold naturally. The waiting will no longer feel like wandering, it will feel like unfolding. Prophetic alignment is the evidence that heaven trusts you with movement. The path ahead won't be without storms, but even the storms will steer you correctly. You have learned to listen not just to open doors, but to divine whispers. You have learned that every detour hides direction. And now, chosen one. All that you've endured is coming together like a symphony, each note, each pause, each crescendo perfectly timed by the conductor of your destiny. You don't need to force what heaven has already ordered. Simply walk, breathe, and trust that the rhythm of your life is now in sync with the heartbeat of God. Chosen one, you are among the marked and the misunderstood. The world looks at you and sees strangeness where heaven sees significance. You have carried an invisible mark, a seal that sets you apart. That mark makes you magnetic to both light and resistance. People sense something about you they can't name. Some are drawn to it, others are repelled by it. That has been the story of your life, celebrated by heaven, questioned by men. You have wondered why you never fit in, why even among friends you sometimes feel alone. It's because your frequency doesn't match the noise of this world. You move differently, think differently, love differently. You are a messenger from another dimension trying to find language in a realm that doesn't always understand your tone. But take comfort, every prophet, every carrier of light, every chosen soul has known this ache of misunderstanding. Even Jesus walked that road. The very people he came to save could not see his glory because it came clothed in humility. Likewise, your greatness is not wrapped in grandeur, it's hidden in grace. Those who look only with human eyes will never comprehend the divine weight you carry. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 4, verse 3. Know that the Lord has set apart his faithful servant for himself. The Lord hears when I call to him. That verse is your reminder you are set apart, not set aside. Being chosen often means being misunderstood. People may misread your silence as pride, your peace as passivity, your faith as foolishness. But heaven sees the truth beneath the misunderstanding. It sees the prayers you never told anyone about. It sees the love you keep giving, even when it isn't returned. Chosen one. Stop trying to explain yourself to those who are not assigned to understand you. Not everyone is meant to recognize your glow. Some will only see your shadow and judge you for it. Others will sense your light but not know how to handle it. That's okay. You are not here to be understood, you are here to be obedient. The mark you carry is not just a symbol of calling, it's a seal of protection. The same anointing that makes you misunderstood also keeps you safe. That's why certain relationships could never last, because they would have contaminated your purity. That's why you couldn't stay in some places. Your spirit outgrew the atmosphere. What you thought was rejection was actually redirection wrapped in mercy. You have been misunderstood in conversations, misrepresented in situations, mislabeled by people who never cared to look deeper. But through it all, heaven has been writing your truth. Every false perception has been turned into preparation. Every lie told about you has only added fuel to your testimony. You are becoming proof that light cannot be slandered into darkness. This journey requires courage. The courage to walk alone if necessary, to stay kind in the face of criticism, to keep shining when misunderstood. The mark you carry will always make you visible to both heaven and hell. But you must remember, the very thing that makes you different is what makes you dangerous to darkness. You are an instrument in the hands of the divine, and no misunderstanding can undo that. Chosen one, don't despise being misunderstood. It's heaven's way of keeping you from distraction. Misunderstanding filters your circle until only the authentic remain. It refines your motives and deepens your dependence on God. The loneliness of being marked is not punishment. It's preparation for leadership. There will come a time when those who doubted you will see clearly. When your purpose blooms in full color, the same mouths that questioned you will testify of your authenticity. But by then you won't even crave their validation, because your confidence will rest in the one who marked you. Right now you are being sculpted in secret. You are the seed beneath the soil, unseen but not forgotten. Heaven is watering you with revelation, pruning you with trials, and waiting for the appointed moment when your growth becomes undeniable. When that time comes, you won't need to announce yourself, the fruit will speak. You were misunderstood so you could learn empathy. You were isolated so you could learn to hear. You were rejected so you could learn to love without conditions. Every misunderstanding has carved compassion into your heart. That's how heaven builds leaders who heal nations. And now, to seal this moment, to declare that you understand your mark and embrace your difference, type in the comments 1111. Those 4 digits symbolize divine awakening and spiritual alignment, the meeting point between your identity and heaven's purpose. When you type them, you're not seeking approval, you're declaring awareness. You're saying, I understand my separation. I accept my calling. I walk in peace, even when misunderstood. Chosen one, you are not strange, you are sacred. You are not forgotten, you are favored. The mark you carry is the handwriting of heaven upon your soul. Let the world misunderstand you. Heaven knows your name. Chosen one, the cost of obedience is often greater than anyone tells you. It's not simply about following instructions, it's about surrendering illusions, letting go of comfort, control, and sometimes even companionship. Obedience requires a kind of dying, not to destroy you, but to make room for new life. Every yes to heaven carries a hidden price, but it's also the key that unlocks eternal reward. You've learned that saying yes to God isn't always applauded. Sometimes it's misunderstood, even ridiculed. Obedience doesn't always make sense at first glance. It can pull you away from what's familiar into places that feel uncertain. But the very discomfort that obedience demands becomes the birthplace of transformation. When you step where God leads, even if the ground trembles, you discover the strength that comes from trust. There have been moments when obedience felt like loss, walking away from people you loved, opportunities you earned, or paths that promised success. It hurt because you were human, but heaven rejoiced because you were faithful. The tears you cried during those goodbyes were seeds of destiny. God never forgets a sacrifice made in sincerity. The world loves the idea of calling but fears the cost. Yet, for the chosen ones, obedience is not optional, it's oxygen. You breathe it, live it, and find life through it. Each act of obedience becomes a bridge connecting the unseen promises of heaven to the visible realities of earth, as Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 9, verse 23. Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me. Those words aren't poetic, they are prophetic. To carry your cross daily means to choose purpose over preference, conviction over comfort. It means trusting that God's no often protects what your heart can't yet perceive. Chosen one, obedience will strip you of pride. It will challenge your logic. It will test your patience. It will feel like surrendering control. And in truth, it is. But that surrender is not weakness, it's worship. You were never meant to navigate life through sheer willpower. The call of obedience realigns your compass with heaven's coordinates. Sometimes, obedience will require silence when your flesh craves explanation. It will ask you to forgive when your heart wants justice. It will call you to love those who never apologized and serve in places where you once suffered. Yet in every hard instruction lies a hidden gift, spiritual authority. God does not anoint rebels. He anoints the obedient. Every yes you whisper in secret becomes thunder in the spirit. There were moments when you wondered why obedience seemed to cost you everything. You looked around and saw others flourishing in disobedience, prospering without purpose, living easily while you carried weight. But heaven measures differently. Their comfort is temporary, your obedience is eternal. Heaven rewards what the world overlooks. Obedience doesn't guarantee ease, but it guarantees alignment. It keeps you within the flow of divine rhythm, where even pain becomes purposeful. The very places that broke you are now the altars where heaven breathes through you. You no longer need to understand every step. You just need to keep walking. The road of obedience is narrow, but it leads straight to glory. Consider Abraham, who left everything familiar simply because God said, "Go." He didn't have directions, he had devotion. His obedience became the blueprint for faith. You are walking that same path. Chosen one. Each time you obey without full clarity, you echo that same faith that moved mountains before. Obedience also teaches detachment not from love, but from outcomes. It frees you from the pressure to make things happen on your own. When you obey, you surrender results into divine hands. You no longer need to control timing, people, or outcomes. You trust that the one who gave the instruction will also provide the fulfillment. There will be seasons when obedience feels like walking blindfolded through fog. You'll hear the whispers of doubt. Did I really hear God? What if I'm wrong? But faith is not the absence of uncertainty. It's the choice to move anyway. The fog is not punishment, it's preservation. God hides details to keep your heart dependent. You've already seen the fruit of obedience in your past. The peace that came after letting go, the breakthrough that followed surrender, the new strength born from silence, those are reminders that obedience never returns void. Every sacrifice has birthed something sacred. And yes, obedience will often feel lonely. But the loneliness is holy ground, where heaven whispers secrets too tender for crowds. In that stillness, you discover the difference between being busy for God and being aligned with Him. You realize that obedience is not about performance, it's about proximity. The closer you walk, the clearer you hear. Chosen one. The cost of obedience is high, but the cost of disobedience is higher. Disobedience promises temporary relief but leads to long-term regret. Obedience demands temporary pain but brings eternal peace. When you choose to obey, you are not losing control, you are gaining covenant. So stand firm in your surrender. Your sacrifices are not forgotten. Your quiet yeses echo louder in heaven than any public applause. What you give up for obedience, God multiplies in grace. You will look back one day and realize that every loss was an investment, every sacrifice a seed, every step of obedience a stairway to glory. Chosen one, you carry the key. For so long, you've been searching outside yourself, hoping someone else would unlock the door to your destiny, that some event, relationship, or miracle would give you access to peace, power, or purpose. But the truth is far simpler and far deeper. The key has always been within you. Heaven placed it there before you ever faced your first battle. You have prayed for open doors, not realizing that you already hold the authority to turn the handle. The delays you thought were divine denial were often moments of self-forgetting. God wasn't withholding. He was waiting for you to remember who you are. The power you seek is not distant, it's dormant, waiting for the command of faith. You've spent seasons standing before locked gates, crying out for breakthrough. But what if those gates were never locked at all? What if fear was the only thing convincing you they were? You've been walking with keys in your spirit while believing you were empty-handed. The same voice that spoke galaxies into existence speaks within you. That is the sound of authority. As recorded in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 16, verse 19. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Those words are not metaphor, they are mandate. Heaven has entrusted you with authority, not just over circumstance, but over atmosphere. You carry the power to bind confusion and release peace, to silence fear and unlock faith. The same spirit that hovered over creation now dwells within you, waiting for your agreement to manifest divine will. Chosen one, the enemy's greatest strategy has always been distraction. He cannot steal your key, so he tries to convince you you've lost it. He whispers lies. You're too broken, too late, too weak until you forget the sound of truth. But keys don't lose their power because of fingerprints. They only lose it when left unused. The moment you believe again, the lock turns. You have authority over what you've been tolerating. You've accepted anxiety as normal, loneliness as inevitable, and delay as defeat. But heaven never called you to survive, it called you to govern. To carry the key means to command peace where chaos reigns, to speak light where darkness lingers, to call order into places of confusion. You were designed to create alignment, not just to endure opposition. Think about it, a key's purpose is only realized when it's used. It looks simple, even ordinary, but inside its grooves lies the precise design to release what's been secured. Your obedience, your words, your faith, they are the grooves that fit heaven's lock perfectly. Each act of courage, each declaration of truth, each step of faith turns the mechanism of manifestation. Many times you've waited for a sign from heaven, but heaven has been waiting for movement from you. The key works only in motion. Doors don't open to hesitation, they respond to faith. You don't need to see the whole hallway before turning the handle, you only need to trust that what's behind it aligns with God's purpose. Chosen one. Carrying the key doesn't make you exempt from warfare, it makes you responsible for victory. You are heaven's ambassador, the one sent to declare, Let there be light in spaces where darkness thought it had won. Your authority is not arrogance, it's inheritance. When you speak truth, you echo heaven's decree. When you act in faith, the earth adjusts to your obedience. But authority must walk hand in hand with humility. A key can open or it can wound, depending on how it's used. That's why your refinement was necessary. It taught you compassion before command. Now, when you speak with authority, your words heal instead of harm. Power anchored in love becomes unstoppable. You hold the key to your peace, your healing, your freedom. It is not hidden in a church, a ceremony, or another person's approval. It's within you. Heaven's greatest miracles are not external interventions, they are internal awakenings. When you rise in awareness, locks begin to fall away. The same door that once seemed impossible will open easily once you approach it with faith instead of fear. Because faith fits every lock, fear shakes at the handle, faith turns it. Chosen one, you are stepping into a season where authority and awareness will merge. You'll find that what you used to pray for will respond simply to your presence. You'll speak peace, and the storm will still. You'll walk into chaos, and order will return. Not because of who you are alone, but because of who walks within you. The key you carry is not made of metal, it's made of revelation. It doesn't hang around your neck, it lives in your words. When you speak with alignment, heaven listens. When you act in obedience, heaven moves. You've been looking for open doors, but heaven is waiting for you to turn the key. Stand before what has been locked for too long, dreams, healing, freedom, and declare, let it open. Now you have permission, now you have authority, now you have the key. And when you finally use it, you'll realize the truth. The door was never the miracle, the courage to turn it was. Chosen one, can you feel it? The sound of the remnant rising. Across the earth, voices once silenced are finding their strength again. Hidden warriors are awakening, dreamers are remembering, and those who almost gave up are now standing taller than ever before. You are part of that sound, a divine orchestra tuned to the frequency of heaven. The same wind that once broke you now carries your voice farther than you ever imagined. This is not a moment, it's a movement. Heaven is gathering its chosen ones from every corner, every generation, every background. Each carries a spark, and together, you form a wildfire of light that darkness cannot contain. You may have felt alone, but you never were. The silence you endured was not isolation, it was synchronization. While you were healing in secret, heaven was aligning you with others who carried the same flame. This rising is not loud in noise, but mighty in impact. It doesn't march with fanfare, it flows like rivers meeting the sea. You are part of that current now, moving in rhythm with a divine tide. The world is shifting, and your obedience has become the sound of change. The ancient words written in the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 7, describe it perfectly. They charge like warriors. They scale walls like soldiers. They all march in line, not swerving from their course. That is you, chosen one, steady, focused, undistracted. You are part of heaven's army, moving with unity and purpose. You've endured the breaking, now comes the building. You've been tempered in fire so that you could walk among the flames and not be consumed. The remnant rising is not about fame, it's about faithfulness. It's not about titles, it's about truth. Heaven is not seeking performers, it's awakening reformers. Those who would rather heal than be heard, who would rather serve than shine, who would rather obey quietly than be celebrated loudly. That's the power of the remnant. You're not trying to be noticed. You're trying to make a difference. You, chosen one, are a living spark in this divine uprising. Every act of love, Every whispered prayer, every moment of forgiveness contributes to the crescendo. You are one note in a song that heaven itself composed. The harmony is forming, and soon the earth will hear it, a sound that brings hope where despair has ruled. Think of this as a sunrise. For so long, the horizon looked dark. Then, one by one, lights began to flicker in the distance. Now, together, they form the glow that announces dawn. That's what this rising is, the collective courage of those who refuse to give up. And you can help that light spread farther. When you share the message, you are not promoting a person, you are releasing a ripple. Like tossing a stone into a still lake, your action sends circles of hope outward. When you like, you're not clicking a button. You're adding your voice to a chorus of faith. When you subscribe, you're choosing to remain connected to a well of living words. And if this message has blessed you deeply, if you felt heaven whisper through these words, consider sowing into this flow. Donation is not about money. It's about movement. It's how the river widens, how the light travels, how another weary soul finds the same hope you did. Every gift you give becomes a bridge to someone still standing in the dark. Think of it like tending a fire. Each log added doesn't just increase the flame, it extends warmth to everyone near it. Every act of generosity, every supportive gesture, is a log added to the fire of awakening. Together, we keep the flame alive. You may think your contribution is small, but remember, stars look tiny from a distance, yet they guide an entire ocean. Your support, your engagement, your comment could be the signal that leads another lost heart home. The remnant rising is not about building platforms, it's about building people. Every story shared becomes a spark for another. Every testimony told becomes proof that darkness doesn't win. You are part of something eternal, something that will outlast you, echoing long after your voice fades. So as you read this, take a breath and feel it, the energy of awakening flowing through your spirit. The heartbeat of heaven is in sync with yours. The sound of destiny is swelling, louder, stronger, unstoppable. You are not watching revival, you are living it. And when this message ends, leave a trace of your fire here. Write in the comments, "I rise with light," not just as words, but as a vow, a declaration that you will carry your torch. No matter how dark the night become, let your light inspire another. Let your hope awaken another. Because the remnant is not rising by chance, it's rising by choice. And today, heaven sees yours. Chosen one, the crown of fire rests upon you now. Not a crown forged by human hands or given through earthly ceremony, but one formed through trials, tempered in suffering, and lit by endurance. You did not receive it overnight, it was molded in every season where you refused to surrender, where you chose faith instead of fear and light instead of bitterness. You've walked through the fire, and now the fire walks with you. Every test you faced, every heartbreak you survived, every tear that fell unseen, all of it was fuel for this holy flame. It burns not to destroy, but to illuminate. The crown of fire is not a reward. It's a revelation that everything the enemy tried to use against you has become the very thing that empowers you. The Word of God declares in the book of Isaiah, chapter 43 and verse 2, "When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze." Those words are the foundation beneath your step. You've lived them without even realizing it. Every flame that touched your life only served to prove that you were fireproof. The heat came, but it could not consume you. The flames raged, but they refined instead of ruined. You have become the fulfillment of that promise, one who carries fire without being destroyed by it. Chosen one, your crown of fire symbolizes both the cost and the calling. It speaks of everything you've endured, but it also proclaims everything you've become. Fire transforms whatever it touches. It turns wood to smoke, metal to shape, and the human heart into holiness. You are now marked by that transformation. When people look at you, they might not see flames, but they will feel warmth. They will sense the strength of one who has walked through fire and come out glowing. You've noticed how your spirit responds differently now. The things that used to frighten you no longer have power. The words that once wounded now pass through without piercing. The storms that used to shake your foundations now simply remind you how deep your roots go. You have become resilient not because life became easier, but because you've become anchored in something greater. The crown you wear is not visible to the eye, but the atmosphere recognizes it. Darkness steps back when you enter a room, not because of who you are, but because of what you carry. The same fire that once tested you now testifies for you. You are a living altar. Your life burns as evidence of God's faithfulness. But remember this: chosen one fire must be tended. The flame does not remain by accident. You must feed it with prayer, humility, and gratitude. Guard your peace like sacred oil, for it keeps your fire burning. Be careful what voices you allow near your flame. Not everyone who smiles means to keep you warm. Some come only to extinguish what they cannot understand. The crown of fire also calls for compassion. Those still in the furnace need your light. Do not forget the nights when you felt lost, the prayers you whispered through tears. Your empathy is your authority. The more you love, the brighter your flame becomes. This fire is not only for you, it's for those who are still trying to find their way out of the dark. Chosen one, the trials behind you have not weakened you. They have refined you. You've walked through ashes and discovered that they don't cling to those who rise. You've learned that even burned ground can bloom again when heaven breathes on it. Every scar, every wound, every battle mark now glows faintly with glory. You no longer fear the fire because you understand it. You know that what burns away is never essential. The pain, the loss, the breaking, all of it served to reveal the gold hidden within you. And now that it shines, no darkness can dim it again. Walk with confidence in your crown, but wear it humbly. It is not a trophy, it is a torch. It was never meant to sit on your head for display, but to light the path for those behind you. You are proof that fire can forge holiness, that storms can sanctify, and that no suffering is wasted when surrendered to God. Your crown of fire is your covenant. It glows with resilience, humility, and grace. Wherever you go, the warmth of heaven follows. Wherever you speak, sparks of truth ignite. You are not merely surviving, you are blazing with purpose. And when the night grows darker around you, do not hide your flame. Lift it higher. The world needs to see that it is possible to walk through fire and emerge not burned, but burning with love, with purpose, with heaven's glory resting upon your soul. Chosen one. Eternity leans close now. The air around your spirit feels heavier, charged with meaning, as if heaven itself is waiting for your final decision. You have heard every whisper, walked through every storm, carried every burden, and now the journey narrows into a single path. This is the moment of choosing. The eternal echo calls your name. You have been chased by purpose for as long as you can remember. Even in your rebellion, destiny followed you. Even in your silence, heaven spoke softly beneath the noise. You could run, yes, but you could never hide, because before you ever spoke your first word, a covenant was written with your name upon it, a promise that your life would bear fruit that outlasts time. You stand now between two worlds, the fading one of flesh and fear, and the everlasting one of spirit and surrender. Every battle you have faced, every lesson you have learned, has brought you to this crossroad. To continue as you are would be easy, but to step fully into your calling will require everything. God never hides the cost. He invites you to count it, to measure it, to choose it with eyes wide open. There is a weight to this moment because heaven honors free will. The Creator will not drag you forward, He will draw you gently, waiting for your yes. You can feel it, the pull, the pressure, the trembling awareness that if you say yes now, everything will change. The old will fall away and the new will rise from within you. The ancient words recorded in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 19. Speak again to your heart. This day I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life, so that you and your children may live. That is the sound of eternity offering you choice. Life or death, not just of the body, but of purpose. Blessing or curse, not from heaven's anger, but from your own alignment. To choose obedience is to choose life. To choose rebellion is to fade into silence. A life lived beneath its calling. You are one decision away from either becoming fire or becoming ash. Chosen one. This is not fear, it is invitation. Heaven has never desired robots, it desires relationship. You have walked through darkness long enough to recognize light when it calls your name. And now, it calls again. Not in thunder, but in tenderness. Come home. It whispers. Step fully into who you were created to be. You've been hesitant, I know. The thought of surrender can feel like losing yourself. But the truth is, it's where you finally find yourself. Everything you've sought in people, in achievement, in distraction, all of it has been a reflection of one missing thing: divine union. You were not made to live halfway. You were crafted to burn holy with the fire of heaven's love. Think about all the near misses, the accidents avoided, the prayers answered at the last moment, the unexpected mercy that found you when you least deserved it. Those were not coincidences. They were checkpoints of grace, reminders that heaven has been keeping watch, waiting for this moment. You were never lost. You were being led. The eternal echo calls again, softer now, as if to reach the deepest chambers of your heart. You can almost hear the pulse of heaven in your chest. Do not delay, it says. The hour is not coming, it has come. There is an urgency here, not of panic, but of purpose. The time for wondering has passed. The time for walking begins. You have seen what disobedience costs, how it drains peace, dims light, and leaves the heart hollow. You have felt the difference between surviving and truly living. And now, heaven offers the choice once more, not through command, but through compassion. If you could see what awaits you on the other side of surrender, your hesitation would dissolve. The future glows with promise, but it will not unlock without obedience. The crown, the authority, the purpose, they all hang on this single hinge. Will you say yes completely? There is still time, but not endless time. Grace is patient, but not passive. Mercy waits, but it does not linger forever. To walk away now would be to drift into spiritual silence, to live with the haunting knowledge of what could have been. But to obey, to finally yield, will awaken rivers of life within you. Chosen one. Heaven has set the table and your seat is waiting. The host stands at the door, not demanding but inviting. The banquet of destiny is ready, but it cannot begin until you arrive. This is your eternal echo, the whisper that began before time and will follow you into forever. Life or death, faith or fear, fire or fading. The choice has always been yours. Step forward, step into the light, let the echo become your anthem. And as you do, Eternity itself will applaud because a chosen one has finally come home. Chosen one, if these words have found their way to your heart, it's because heaven wanted you to hear them. You didn't stumble here, you were guided. Somewhere between the lines, something inside you awakened, didn't it? That quiet realization that you were never ordinary, never forgotten, never disqualified. The same God who authored your story is still writing it now. So let this moment linger. Breathe it in. Let the peace of knowing who you are settle into your bone. And when it does, don't keep it to yourself. Someone out there is standing where you once stood, tired, uncertain, searching for a sign. Be the voice that reaches them. When you like, when you share, you're not just interacting, you're planting light in dark places. Go to subscribe if this message speaks to your soul, and leave a comment below. Tell your story, your reflection, your gratitude, because your voice carries weight. It strengthens others, and it reminds heaven that you're still standing, still believing, still chosen. Let's keep this fire alive together, one act of faith at a time. The movement doesn't end here, it begins again with you.